Ahead of the vice presidential debate, we tracked down one of the most highly respected media experts in the UK and spoke to him via webcam between interviews. A journalist with 30 years' experience and more than 2,000 radio and TV interviews under his belt, Alan Stevens now coaches CEOs and top politicians on their media performance. This is his unbiased professional opinion. He's not voting in the US election.
I think one of the most interesting things is Sarah Palin's background. She's come from Alaska. She's a self-styled hockey mom, but very, very short on experience. And even though she was selected as a bit of a left-field candidate by John McCain, she delivered a barnstorming speech to the Republican Party convention a couple of weeks ago. But it's one thing to deliver a great speech and another one to do a great interview. And in the several interviews she's done with TV journalists since that speech, she's performed pretty poorly. She's looked hesitant. She's looked as though she didn't really understand the issues, and she's really presented very badly indeed. Joe Biden, on the other hand, her opponent in this upcoming debate, is a very well-experienced chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, knows his way around Washington, knows his way around politics, and has a deep understanding of all the issues. So when those two come head-to-head, it's going to be very interesting indeed. Well, it's clear that both candidates are going to have some very intense preparation. I think Sarah Palin needs more intense preparation than Joe Biden, obviously, and they're going to be sitting with their advisors, working out what the likely questions are, trying to figure out what the areas of issues are going to be that they're going to be debating. And I think the most important thing, particularly for Sarah Palin, is for her to focus on what we call the core message. When I'm working with candidates, it's very important that we talk to them about what is the single most important thing that they want to get across during a presentation or a debate. She's also got to focus on the sound bites. Obviously, most people don't watch the debates live. They don't watch the full debate even pre-recorded. They just pick up the sound bites on the news. So if she's got 3 or 4 cracking sound bites that she can deliver that become the clips that appear on news shows and so on, she'll be doing a good job. Joe Biden, on the other hand, got a lot of experience. The problem he's got, I think, is avoiding complacency and avoiding looking smug. And if he's seen in any way to attack Sarah Palin, coming over as aggressive, then the sympathy will switch across to her. So he's got a fine line to tread as well. Sarah Palin has looked particularly light on foreign policy and on the economy. One of the first interviews that she did, in fact, the first TV interview that she did since she became vice presidential candidate, the first question was, what do you think about the Bush Doctrine? The Bush Doctrine, of course, being this kind of preemptive first strike, cross-border raids by Americans to defend themselves. And from her expression and the way she reacted, it's clear she didn't actually know what the Bush Doctrine was, let alone understand it and answer it. On the economy, she is flannelled around and tried to switch the debate towards healthcare, which she does understand. It really looks as though she's greatly out of her depth, and I think the Republicans as well that have seen those TV debates are getting very, very concerned about her performance. If I was coaching Sarah Palin right now, if I was her media coach, I would say to her 3 things. The first thing is she needs to start very strongly. She needs to make sure that in the first answer she delivers a very, very strong response. She could probably guess it's going to be about the economy, so they can prepare her well for that. Second thing is, I would say, stick to the core message. Make sure that she has a clear and firm message for the American people and that she delivers it several times during the debate. And the third thing is, I would say she uses what we call a bridging technique, that she takes the question and turns it towards the answer that she wants to give, something Mrs. Thatcher, the UK Prime Minister, was very, very good at. She was able to deliver a message regardless of the question that was being asked. And those are the things that I coach my own clients on and that I would certainly coach Sarah Palin on. I think if I was talking to Sarah Palin now, I would look her in the eye and I'd say, are you ready for this? And I'm not convinced that she is. And I mean, there are calls for her to be replaced. And if I was advising her, I might say, find a reason not to have this debate or find it later on, because she could find herself seriously exposed and that could tear the Republican ticket in half. So I think probably if I was her advisor, I'd be saying to you, do you really want to do this?